Ladies and gentlemen, local election results are coming in and they are phenomenal. They're really good to see. Now, we saw a 9% swing against the Liberal Party in the whole state of New South Wales in these local elections. That's phenomenal because it sends a direct message to Dominic Perrottet to say, hey, you and all the Liberal Party, you let us down these last 2.5 years. You really have. You haven't governed well. You haven't done a good job on COVID. You haven't done a good job on lockdowns, and we demand better. That's excellent. I can't wait to see what happens in 2.5 years when we see even more people leave these parties for Freedom Party candidates. Remember, when it comes to what's going on in this state, the Liberal Party is responsible because they formed government. They locked us down. They used a lot of legislation to do these things to us, and the police brutality and the lockdowns and the mandates, they should not be forgotten. It was the Liberal Party that did it. Now, we also saw some really good news also in some of these 12 councils we preferenced for the Turning Point How to Vote cards. We saw anywhere from 13% to 28% of people in these areas vote either no candidate or they didn't do the vote properly. Now, it's not like there's been an increase in stupid people. No, there's always the same amount. But a lot of people are disgruntled. They didn't like these parties. They were looking for their freedom parties. But the freedom parties were nowhere to be found. They didn't run anyone. In the 12 areas that we did How to Vote cards for, there was one ward, one council and one ward in that council that ran candidates, and it was the Liberal Democrats. And they didn't get up. And there were a lot of council areas they would have gotten up, I think, if they actually ran there. I mean, if you go to the Canterbury Bankstown area, the ward had 28% of people, almost a third of their voters, say, hey, we don't want you to actually vote, for these candidates, or they couldn't work out how to do a how to vote sheet. Like, this is insane. What happened, freedom parties? If you guys listening are not impressed with your freedom parties that you donate to and share content for and, support, demand better of them. In 2.5 years, when the local elections come around again, you tell them, you better run candidates or else I'm pulling out. I'm going to go donate to this party who are running candidates. The Liberal Democrats are the only ones in the 12 LGAs that I preference that ran candidates. Maybe you should back them instead. And this is the thing. This isn't an ad for the Liberal Democrats. The point is, you've got to ask better of your parties. You've got to get involved. You've got to either put your hand up and say, run me, and get to know your area and work out what policies and what things are going on in your area that you are upset about and your community is upset about, and represent them, or get someone in your party to do it. Get someone in your party to actually put someone up. Get your party to find someone that can run, that will represent your values. But no, that's not what happened this time around. So I was forced to pick between bad candidates, not me, my team, because I'm separate, but the team had to pick between bad candidates in these areas. In some areas, they're picking between neo-Nazis, Labour-backed candidates, or, Chinese Communist Party candidates. And then we'd preference like the Liberal Party or the Labour Party. And people would be like, why did you do that? And it's like, because we didn't want to back Nazis, because we didn't want to back, Chinese Communist Party people or the Greens. That's why. There's a lot of nuance behind these How to Vote cards. Now, there was a lot more good news that also came out. I mean, those two pieces of good news is amazing. 9% swing against the Liberal Party across the state, and also 28%, up to 28% of people voting no candidate because they're not impressed. The third thing was, I was absolutely astonished by the amount of people that downloaded the How to Vote cards. Like, there was over 5,000 downloads of these things, and that doesn't even tell us how many people wanted, screenshot it, shared it around. I mean, it could have been tens of thousands of votes we're talking, because it wasn't for the whole of New South Wales, guys. It was only for these 12 LGAs in Southwest and Western Sydney. That's insane. That's a lot of votes. You can swing a lot of seats with that if you do it properly. Amazing. I'm humbled that a lot of you trust me and my team. And thank you so much. I mean, I think we made a huge difference, and I'm going to tell you about some of the areas that we did. Tanya Davies, you guys know Tanya Davies. She's awesome. I actually found out that her husband ran in these elections, and I actually had no idea he was going to run. So Tanya Davies is awesome. As you know, she is someone who's fought for our freedoms against the mandates, trying to drop the LGAs of concern, which is a double standard. And, you know, her husband, when I found out her husband was running in an area, absolutely legendary. That's awesome. We want to see more Tanya Davies up. And he ran and he won in Penrith, in the South Ward. That's excellent. Also, in the Strathfield Council, Nella Hall looks like she's going to get one and possibly two candidates. And there's also another candidate there that we preference as well as the number one candidate, and he'll also be there to back her up. That's excellent. That's really good to see. I can't wait to see them three smashing goals over there and holding council accountable. Also, Barbara Curry, she's an independent that we preference in the Canterbury Bankstown ward, and she's going to be up as a councillor. Excellent. That's another great success story. I won't go through all the areas, guys, but those are some interesting examples. Demand better of your parties, get people up. And remember, guys, the purpose of these how to vote cards was to promote good candidates. It was to get them up. Now, where there are no good candidates, we had to pick the best of bad options. If you want better, demand better of your parties. That's the lesson I want you to get from this. I think that when it came to these local elections, it was really interesting to see some of the stories that came out. And one of them was to see the success of these how to vote cards and how they were spread around. Some people, they'd get on the phone with me, or they'd get on the phone with some of these other guys like Charlie and say, "Hey Charlie, how do I vote on this?" And I was like, "That's excellent. That's really good. That's what I want to see." I'm really glad we went through this exercise so that we could actually make sure it's a well-oiled machine for the federal election, so things go smoothly. And I mean, it's in 6 months, so we've got heaps of time to get the infrastructure fine-tuned and to make sure we do all of the electorates. But I'm really looking forward to it. When we decided to do the how to vote cards, we were never planning on doing the local elections because we knew we couldn't do all the local areas. And but the problem was everyone was asking us, "Hey, can you give us some guidance?" So we thought, okay, we'll at least do the LGAs of concern because that's where it was most popularly requested. But yeah, there were a lot of areas we couldn't do it for, and I hope that in 2.5 years we'll have the capacity to do that. And so we've got a great turning point and make sure we can give people that guidance. Everyone should be doing their own research, of course, but if we can put out our own how to vote cards to give you guys a basis point and then work your way backwards, maybe that'd make it a little bit easier. I'm really looking forward to what's going to happen. I'm really looking forward to seeing where things go. And I want to finish this segment by just saying thank you, guys. You're awesome. You trust me a lot to do this stuff, and I can't wait to share some of the stuff that's going on in the future next year. We've got a lot of things coming. And as I always say, the best is yet to come, or as Trump says, the best is yet to come. And, you know, I'm just so humbled I've been reflecting over the course of the last 1.5 years, and I'm just really humbled by how far we've come from the start of the show behind me with Ricardo, and from, you know, all the stuff that we've been doing, you know, together, and we've been sort of growing together. And, you know, it's really interesting to see. I didn't think we were going to be doing how to vote cards. I never thought it was going to be a thing. And so the sky's the limit. So I sort of want to encourage you guys, whatever's going on in your life, if there's something you want to have a crack at, you know, just have a crack at it, you know. Let them say no. That's what my career advisor at school said. Whenever he said, if you're tossing up between applying for something, you know, just do it. Because sometimes you'll meet the idiot that won it, and you're going to be like, really, that's the guy that won it? Maybe I should give it a crack. And that's actually what got me into all of this. You know, I really think that, you know, what we're doing here is amazing. And I think that if you can apply that to your own lives, I think that you can actually make it into quite a heaven for yourself and your family and your community. So I hope this segment was helpful. I'm going to be doing a following one up in the next few days. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, guys. But thank you so much. I want to wish a birthday to the amazing Jimmy Levy, who's turning 24. Welcome to the club, brother. I'll be out of this club in March when my birthday is. But yeah, brother, you're awesome. Your music has really become a part of the movement, and I love using it. And I hope you have an awesome day, man. I'll see you guys later. And yeah, stay tuned for the next segment, and I'll see you later. Thanks for supporting. If you want to donate, please donate. It really helps build what I'm building, and it gives me that assurance to keep staff on, to keep a lot of the things going that I've got planned for next year. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'll see you guys later. Ciao, and thank you for your trust.